Good evening, Professor Vandinayaka, Professor Kapila Seniviratna, Professor Disanayaka, Dr. Sujit Panditage, distinguished faculty members, and also the new students of the ninth intake of the MBM marketing program of the University of Kelaniya. It's a great honor for me to speak to you today, and I'm thankful to the university for inviting to come in here as the keynote speaker. I will mainly focus on my experiences in international marketing, and as you know, most of you will join the private sector, or maybe you are working in the private sector. Even the government, most of the marketing work is handled by the private sector. So it's very important that we all learn marketing as a subject, and I believe that's the engine of any company or business. It's a journey of many challenges and also opportunities. So as a person who have been in the business, so I know it is a lot of challenges, but there are many opportunities for us to succeed in our career and as a person. When I was invited by Professor Disanayaka, and I asked him, what do you expect me to do? He told me to share my experience during the last maybe 35 years, and also to tell the new graduates or new MBA students what is expected by the corporates from the new MBA students joining the private sector. So I'm going to tell whatever in this small period of time, what is my experiences especially in global markets, and also what as a corporate, what we expect from the newcomers who are joining our companies. That's a common thing in most of us, what we are expecting. So, you know, some will go on join corporates, and some can even go as entrepreneurial roles. I was working as a person in companies for a few years, but then I started my own journey. So some may go in corporates and can go up to very high levels. Like, you know, there are private sector companies who are doing very well. And also there are some people start doing their own and becoming their own companies, doing their own businesses. So we have two ways to go, but first we have many things to learn and to practice. So that I believe number one is the discipline. You know, my experience, if we don't have discipline, we cannot do anything. So, you know, there are many disciplines. You know, from the time you get up in the morning, we have to practice all these things. The discipline is one of the main things I believe is very important for us to progress. And also strategic thinking. You know, we all learn from books, but the thinking, what do we do? Because we all know everything is changing. Because what we learned maybe 5 years ago or 10 years ago will not work. The strategic thinking, what do we do? And because the environment has changed. So this is what is very important for us to learn and practice. And the knowledge, you know, now most of you all are graduates from a good universities. And the knowledge, you have the knowledge, but that is very important. Continuous learning also very important. Even at my age, I'm learning. It is very important The knowledge will always give us the strength for us to go forward. And also, I believe, in most of the cases, common sense. The common sense is the key, because we all know the knowledge we have learned, but the using common sense is very important for us to learn, to go forward and take decisions. Right attitude. The attitude is, when we recruit people into our organizations, we first, there are many interviews, they check their qualifications, knowledge, everything. But when it comes to the top, we look at the attitude and, how they handle things, how, when you have a challenge, how you take it up, whether you are expecting somebody to coach you or to teach you or to tell you what to do. This is not expected from a newcomer. We expect him to come out with the solution and tell us what is your opinion, how we should proceed. So the right attitude, because we want them to be loyal to us. And think, as much as you work in a company, to have the right attitude, to be part of it and take decisions. Positive approach, because we don't believe in people saying, no, it is not possible and things like that. Everything is challenging, everything is not easy. So we want positive approach. And also, idea of never give up. We don't give up. We have had enough problems in the private sector, especially last 5 years, but we don't give up. We keep innovating, we are looking for solutions, and we have succeeded. Now, economically the country had a lot of issues, but it has come to a stage, we are in a much better position, so we have never give up we want to go ahead. Power of knowledge. Since you are learning marketing, so this is not something I should speak, but we all know the learning, the market trends, consumer behaviors, emerging technologies, technologies like artificial intelligence, real-time data, global e-commerce, social media platforms, diverse markets across different countries. Understanding cultural, economic, and legal requirements are very important, because in my experience, I know when we work in different countries, we have had many problems with different economic situations and legal requirements. The laws of this country will not apply in another country. So we have to understand that, work very carefully, because we think that we have some understanding or knowledge of the laws of this country, but that will not work in another country because it's totally different. So the things like market trends and all is something we need to always keep in touch with the markets and to understand what's happening, because things are changing very fast. What we have seen last year is not there today. It has changed. I can tell you, I've been in the promotion and marketing committee of Sri Lanka Tea Board. Sometimes in the government, they are very, very slow. It's not the fault of ours. The system, it's very, very slow. So you plan, you discuss, you approve, and then it goes to the ministries, it going to the cabinet, all kinds of things. By the time it was approved, the markets have changed. Then we don't want to go do that. So many projects we have started. Tea Board has billions of rupees collected for promotion and marketing, but it's not moving, because when it gets approvals, markets have changed. We don't need to do those things. So I think the timing is very, very important. We have to be real time, working on real time. And also I said about the common sense, right attitude. Teamwork is very important, because none of us know everything. We are sharing knowledge with everyone. in the team, maybe even outside. We talk to many people that sharing knowledge, teamwork is very, very, very important, because I know very well none of us are perfect. We know, especially in business, there are no perfect answers. The answers we have to discuss among our colleagues, outsiders, markets, and then we come to a conclusion. So the teamwork, if you don't have teamwork, you can't go ahead as a marketing executive. Yes, I'll just play a video which is done by IMF after the tea auction was transformed from a manual auction to an automated thing, a digital auctioning system. Sri Lanka tea was auctioned 137th in manual form. But in 2020, we could not continue with the auctioning because of the COVID. We could not come to a place and do the auction. So with this transformation, within a period of 10 days. So that was a great thing by the team. None of us are experts in IT. I'm not an IT person, but we did it in 10 days. It was the teamwork, but just listen to this video. By about March, the COVID-19 started affecting all of us here in Sri Lanka. Traditionally, the auctions were at the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce. We had about 100 buyers get together with the broker.
The broker goes lot by lot, shouting out, asking for prices. So that's how the system was running for the last 137 years. 10% of the Sri Lankan population, almost 2.1 million people, is involved in this tea industry.
Tea makers, our workers, our farmers, our master tea tasters, our blenders.
By about middle of March, people started complaining they cannot come.
They were unprepared for the suddenness of the shutdown.
When the government decided that they had to go to find an online solution at the tea industry, they couldn't. There was no resistance, of course, because they had no other options. Several actors come together to deliver a solution in 6 days, believe it or not.
We worked with this fantastic team of Sri Lankan tech guys.
So we made history on 4th of April 2020 by having the first auction, digital auction going live. When you digitize it, the difference is there is a pin drop silence. Nobody talks.
There are a lot of advantages in this system as well, because this here you can see all our buyers.
From April, tea prices moved up in Sri Lanka a lot. So I think the producers are happy, the state government is happy, so generally all are happy.
People are happy with the efficiency and things like that. So I don't see us going back to the physical auction.
Most of the other industries were shut down, but tea industry continued to work.
எல்லாத்துக்கும் சம்பளம் நேரத்தில் கூட நாங்கள் எஸ்டேட்டில் வேலை செஞ்சவங்களுக்கு எங்களுக்கு சம்பளம் கிடைச்சிச்சு. இந்த தொழில் செய்கிறதுனால தான் எங்களுக்கு மன சந்தோஷமாக போன வருஷம் இந்த கொரோனா பிரச்சனை டைமில் கூட நாங்கள் நல்லாவே வேலை செஞ்சு சம்பளம் வாங்கி சந்தோஷமாக குடும்பம் நடத்திக்கிட்டு பிள்ளைகளோட சந்தோஷமாக இருக்கிறோம்.
I think it's a great achievement for all of us.
Best way to get them to look after your people is keep them safe, keep them healthy, keep them employed. And that's what the platform did for Ceylon Tea.
I showed this video. It is sharing knowledge, because none of us, other than this software supplier, none of us had the IT knowledge. But we all contributed we wanted to achieve this. It was very important for the country because, the system here is the people produce within 7 days, they get their money because it's just before the Sinhalese New Year, they wanted money. And we had a lot of pressure from the government to have the auction, but we could not have it. So it was the team effort, and also never say die. We said, we will do the auction. So the government was asking us, how are you going to do it? But we said, we will manage. We have never done it in the past, but we did it. But first auction, it took almost 5 or 6 days, but normally it's 1.5 days. So we did it. So what I'm trying to explain is, it's not marketing, but it's not, none of us are IT people, but we use the knowledge of the people. And also, we didn't take any money from the government. It was the money from the industry, very small amount. And now this system, these people have sold in Kenya also, because they have found is very successful. Kenya has bought it for $3 million, which we didn't even spend 30 million rupees. So that was mainly because of the innovation, teamwork, and we took a lot of risk. Because if we fail, we will have a lot of other issues. So as a businessman, as a marketing person, calculated risk is we need to do it. Because, there's nothing, sometimes it's not very clear what do we do. But taking calculated risks are very, very important. There are times we fail, but most of the time, we manage. But if we fail, we have other plan how to handle it. So, as I explained, the markets are evolving, environment is changing, economies are changing, cost technologies are changing. During the last 5 years, Sri Lanka had, as an exporter, we had a lot of issues. At some stage, we had Sri Lanka rupee at 200 rupees to $1, and it went up to 365, 370 rupees to $1, and now it has come down to 290. So how to manage those risks? Because as exporter, it's very difficult to predict these things. The environment are changing, and the interest at one stage was about 7-8%, but it went up to 35%. Now it has come down to about 12%. So as a business, as a marketing person, we should understand all those things and calculate our prices, costings, and all our predictions based on these. Some are beyond our control, but still we can't say it's beyond our control. We need to manage it. It is very important as a person who want to do marketing to understand this. Especially the costs are changing. Most of things are beyond our control. We can predict certain things, but not everything. But what do we do if we don't achieve those results? So we need to manage. And digital exposure, things have changed. Now a lot of things have gone into digital, especially customs and certain government organizations have changed. So the digital exposure is very good. And that's a positive side of COVID. So after COVID, many things have changed. People have started using digital communication. A lot of systems are working digitally now. So it's something positive we have achieved during the COVID time. And also, sometimes we need to, when we get into a system, there are certain accepted norms. But as critically we need to think, do we need to do this? Why do we want to do this? Because certain costs are not necessary. We can manage without that. We can find a different way of doing it. So the ground zero approach is very important. Okay, if you start today, how do you do this? You don't need all these costs. So we always think, okay, forget about what we have now. If we want to start today, how are we going to do it? We don't need this cost. That's why some of these small companies are doing better, because they have much lower cost, because they start ground zero level. And also, as international markets, working with different cultures, because there are, when we go to some markets like Russia, their thinking is different. Middle East, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Japan. So we should be able to adjust. We cannot go and say, no, this is what we want, but we have to understand their cultures. Geopolitical impact. Every time, like, if there are any interest changes in US, our interest rates will change. So we have to understand that sanctions in Russia, Iran, Middle East, Syria is affecting the tea industry. But how do we manage? But we have to find, tea is not sanctioned, but there are sanctions on financial transactions. Money will not come. So how do we handle this situation? The problems in US, China, and also now BRICS coming in. Definitely Sri Lanka is going to join this month. So how is going to affect our transactions overseas? So this is we are discussing it, how it's going to affect us. And also Sri Lankan economy transformation. Now that we have negative inflation. So the things have changed, but still certain costs you can't change. But the inflation is negative now. But as a marketing person, we should understand all those things, because the competitors will change prices. So we need to manage. One of the main strengths for the marketing or product marketing is the value addition. Value addition is something, as a company, when we started, we thought there are many competitors, but how can we do better than others? It's the value addition. We keep on innovating, looking for new products, new packaging, a new way of selling. That has helped us to come up to become a big value-added product value-added product exporter in Sri Lanka. And there are other ways of exporting. Like sometimes you can't you export from here. We have to think of opening up your offices overseas. Like our company has office in Russia, Poland, in Australia, because we can't operate from here. So the thinking is that why do we want to do? Because it's additional expense. But definitely we will do better if we have those facilities. And also a marketing person should have an entrepreneurial mindset. There are no people to train. In our company, 1 or 2 months, people will tell you what we are doing and things like that. But we expect the new executives to come out with his own things. When you give you an idea, to come out with a solution, come out with proposals. Because if you don't have that entrepreneurial mindset, you can't be a marketing person. So we have to have thinking all the time, how do we do it better? To get a better price, maybe innovation, or maybe better marketing methods, or keep the cost down. How do we keep the cost down? We have to find a way of doing it. So these are things, marketing people is not only marketing, they have to innovate, they have to create products, and also look at the cost of a product. How do we do this? Innovations, I have spoken a lot, but we all believe that things are changing all the time. So because what we sold 5 years ago, we will not be able to sell next year. So definitely we have to have better products. But people are asking maybe the same price, even lower prices. In Japan, shelf prices have not changed maybe last 10 years. They say price is the same, products are better. So how do we manage? And also, as a marketing person, building connections, having relationship is very important, because you have to build up your reputation, because that is one, people have to believe you. But credibility is very important. We have to build up that relationship, connections, and also the company corporate credibility. And also the sustainability is very important. Now, I know this week we had an issue. In Australia, they will not accept certain things like cellophane from next year, because if you ship in cellophane, we have to pay 7% additional tax, which we can't afford to do. So we had to find a way of removing cellophane, because they feel it's environmentally not friendly, and they cannot destroy it easily. So we are looking for ways of doing the same product, giving same protection without cellophane. It is coming in Europe, and also it has already started in USA. But it's not uniform everywhere, but it is happening. So we have to keep looking for other options. And also, as a marketing person, the empathy, I always say, you understand the other person, especially your customer, because they also have problems, because it's not only our issues, we have to work together. That is, if you start thinking, from their side, we can find solution, because you can't be a marketing person without having that kind of you have to have a good heart to understand your customer, because they also have their own problems. We have to find a solution for them, and also we have to survive on our own. Other thing, actually, a professor told me to talk about balancing work life and family life. I believe, as a matured person, it is very, very important to have your home front in good way, because we all work sometimes day and night, sometimes we travel. So, but we have to have a good balancing life at home. So keep the family. When you are young, they're not big problem, because you can decide on your own. But once you marry, you have a husband or wife, spouses have to understand you, trust you, and also to keep them happy. It's very important. But then you have children, when you have big children, sometimes you have grandchildren. So everything is changing. So having a balanced work and the family life is key, because I know people who have done very well in their businesses, but they don't have good family life. So finally, they end up without, they are not successful. But having a good family life, balancing it with the work life is very important, but we need to start it from the first day. It is a practice, and to build trust in the family, and to tell them that I'm working, I'm traveling, but it is all for good, and good for the family. So, and also, like when we start, sometimes you think what you want to achieve. Legacy you want to create. But actually when we started, I thought I want to become a company and to build a brand and build a company. I worked with that intention, the legacy you want to create, and the impact you can create to the society and to the people, to the country, and to the society. So that is very important, because if you have a vision and also a target, it is easy to go towards that target. I think if we don't have a kind of a target, we find, we don't know what we are doing. So we have to understand what we want. Because when even professor invited me, I thought, what I can do, I can share my knowledge because, I have many graduates from Kelaniya University in our organizations. What I do is as much as I could, I share my knowledge. And also I have a discussion with them because some are brilliant. Because what we needed is a little bit of push for them to do it. Whether they work in our company or they go overseas or they go to another company, it's different. But I'm happy that I have done my part. Because in the last 2-3 years, we have seen many people leaving the country. And and also when they leave, some people leave our companies and join different organizations. It's a problem. But it's challenging also, but sometimes we get better people, newcomers coming. So that's all I want to say in conclusion. What I want to say is marketing is dynamic, exciting, and rewarding field. Gaining knowledge, using common sense, maintaining right attitude, keeping positive approach are the fundamental elements to make your journey successful. It's hard, but rewarding. And definitely you can make an impact to the society and to the country. Once again, my congratulations, and I wish all of you all the best for the future. Thank you.